Hi, this is Ron Juckett from Pop Fly Boys and Bleacher Report, and on this week's edition of So You Want to Be a Sports Writer, we're going to talk about sourcing. Sourcing is probably one of the most important things you can do as a new writer because chances are you are not reporting news firsthand to anybody unless you're doing high school sports and little Susie scores the winning goal. Her grandparents will know that happened and they'll be very happy. But you're not going to break the story on how Alex Rodriguez needed hip surgery, or Kobe Bryant scoring 45 points, or so and so signing for the Boston Celtics. Those are stories that are going to be broken by people in the field, and it's very important that they get credit for it. As online writers, we're more analysts at this point in our career, and it's very important to you and to the person that broke the story that you give them credit for it. So if Chris Mortensen on ESPN is the one that breaks the news that Peyton Manning, bought another 55 Papa John's and pizza restaurants, and that's what you want to talk about, you got to give Chris Morton the credit. You can put it in a line like Peyton Manning bought 55 more Papa John restaurants, and wherever I would probably do the Papa John restaurant, and then you insert the link where Chris Mortensen put the story. It's very important because you didn't do the original reporting. You can certainly react to it. You can tell us how you feel about it. You can tell us why it's a good thing, why it's a bad thing, why you really don't care, why ESPN shouldn't be obsessing about things like that. But it's important that people know where the story came from so they can make the determination for themselves about the story. Plus, when you get onto a semi-professional level, if you write for Bleacher Report, if you write for other websites besides your own, they want to know where you got your work. It's kind of like when you were in high school and you were doing math and your teachers told you to show your work. Well, that's exactly what you're doing here. You're showing the readers your work, where you got the information. If you got it third hand, let's say you picked up on a baseball trade through reading something at MLBTradeRumors.com and saw the link there, and then you went to where the original reporting was and copied that, you should also put in your text someplace a hat tip, usually in parentheses, HT, for where you actually found the information on. You can also embed tweets. That's not too difficult to do, and that's something that we do with the Bleacher Report because it shows it firsthand. It gives it some graphic representation, and it's a good thing to do. The other thing about sourcing and news gathering at this level is be very, very careful what you see on Twitter. There's enough legitimate information on Twitter that Twitter really has become a newswire for those of us who are looking to analyze stuff quickly in the business. If you see it on Twitter and if you know the source on Twitter, because it will obviously come from someone like I said, a Chris Mortensen or an ESPN or John Heyman, who's the baseball insider at CBS Sports and MLB Network, if it's coming from them, chances are pretty good chance that is what it is. But you see news on Twitter a lot quicker than you see it on websites. Here's a quick example for you. I had a story on Alex Rodriguez and his hip injury, the fact that he was going to go through and have another hip surgery. When I saw it on Twitter that it was his right hip, but I didn't want to link that because it was sources and reporting. You really want to get as close, whatever you're going to link or whatever you're going to write on, you really want it as close to firsthand as you possibly can. So I was seeing it on Twitter, and then I searched for it on Google, and while the news stories that were on the websites from that morning have been updated, they had the wrong hip. The New York Post is the one that broke the story, and they had reported what they knew, that he had re-injured his right hip. While 2 hours later on Twitter, it was saying it was the same similar injury to his left hip. So which one was it? Well, you have to play the journalist. Even if you're never doing journalism, you need to find out which source is right. Because if you write a 500-word article saying that, it's a shame that Alex Rodriguez is having another surgery on his right hip, this is the second time around, the story's wrong because it turns out it was his left hip, and Twitter had it right first. But you have to verify. You have to be the censor before you do that. You just can't jump on the first thing. So basically, that's it for the week. Make sure that you give other writers credit for when you not take their ideas, but when you expand on their ideas or when you comment on their ideas, give them the credit because your readers want to know where you're getting it from. Because obviously, if you're reporting that Brett Favre is coming back to play for the Cincinnati Bengals, you better know your readers want to know where you came from that firsthand. And second, when you see something on Twitter, make sure that you can find another place to back it up, or that the person that you're reading it from is airtight, that they're not going to let you down, and you can go ahead and retweet that tweet. All right, that's what we had this week. Don't forget to check out the podcast Wednesday nights at popflyboys.com, and you can read me all the time about Bleacher Report, and you can always follow me on Twitter at Ron Juckett. Thank you very much.